All right, good morning everyone and welcome to a vlog. So again, this will be a little bit of different of a video, but I have so much footage from the vegan cruise that Ivy and I went on that I figured that I'd record kind of a little bit of what happened, and we can kind of overlay some of the clips for some of you that have never been on a vegan cruise before. If you've listened to any of the other videos that have come up in the past 2 weeks, I've shared that this was my first time on a cruise, and I'm really happy that it was vegan because I didn't have to worry about food too much. So, you know, it left out of Miami. We ended up going to Jamaica, the first spot, and then it was Grand Cayman, and then it was Cozumel, Mexico, and then it was Bahamas after, until we made our way back to Miami. Ivy and I were blessed to be invited as speakers, so this was really fun. We got to speak on the athlete panel, and yeah, so kind of go a little bit over the things. As you'll see, before we got to the cruise, I believe Ivy went to Cambodia.
Ivy is leaving me for the Philippines and Cambodia.
Never.
Hey, say it to the camera.
Hello.
Looking so beautiful and messy. Good boy, come on.
Ivy went to Cambodia because she is a TV host for WPT, the World Poker Tour. She's been doing that for a few decades now. So she was there for like 2 weeks and then went to the Philippines to go see some of her family. Unfortunately, I had to stay here because I didn't have my paper from immigration yet to be able to leave the country. I was just waiting for it, and thankfully it came in, I believe, 3 days before I had to leave for the cruise. And I was very excited because I really wanted to go to the cruise. And so I got my piece of paper. So this year there will be more travels in our schedule, in the content that we are recording. So yeah, thankfully I get to travel, but I didn't get to go with her to Cambodia and the Philippines. She came back for like a week and then we pretty much left after. Yeah, well, once we got to Miami, you know, we did all of our check-ins. We didn't see too many people once we got there in terms of people that we knew. But once we got to the boat, like, holy smoke, this boat is massive. Multiple hotels on water. I've seen them from really far, but you don't get to appreciate the size of them until you're right beside them. And you're like, oh darn, you can see the water slides on top, but I knew there was a basketball court on top of it. It was really cool. And then, you know, we got to our room. We had a nice little balcony to kind of look on the outside. I was very concerned, and Ivy was concerned for me with, just being dizzy from being at sea because I had never been on a boat like that. So we bought some type of medication just in case, but I ended up being fine, which was great, right? I guess there's no way to know until you're at sea, and then you'll know if you get motion sickness or not. Seasickness or motion sickness? I'm sure it's the same thing. And then the first day there was to the auditorium, this kind of like welcome ceremony with everyone. They brought Ivy and I on stage to kind of talk a little bit, but they brought all the speakers that were going to be on the athlete panel, which is one of the reasons we were there, in addition to teaching some of the fitness classes. And that's where we got to see, Cyrus Gambara from, co-founder of Mastering Diabetes, Robert Cheek, and, Danny and Jacobo from Vegan Protein. We got to kind of see everyone on stage for the first time in a long time. So that was really fun. Got to see Michael, Dr. Clapper. I usually see him at several conferences, so it's kind of nice to reconnect with him from time to time. Dr. Greger was there, Dr. Neil Barnard was there, like some of the big hitters of our industry was there, and it was really cool to just all of us be together in one spot. To me, there was missing two of my favorite people as well. Like, again, all the names I name are incredible people, but there was missing my man Chuck Carroll and Adam Sudd. I think it would have been a really fun cruise with these two guys there. Yeah, I think day one we went to Jamaica. That was really fun. We ended up taking a kind of like a taxi and going to a beach, and the water was so clear. And I believe I have some GoPro footage from that as well, because I've been with my wife Ivy for 3.5 years, and I've never seen her swim in water and put her head underwater, because every time we go to the ocean here in LA or whatever, she always says it's too cold. Every time we get to a pool, she says it's too cold. So she'll dip her foot and then she'll get out and she'll just tan on the beach. But I've never seen her swim. And that was the first time she went into the water. I was like, whoa, this is a great moment. We have to put this on the GoPro. We have to film this. So yeah, we filmed a little bit there. We had a great time. Robert was there, and that's when I got my base burn, my base tan was on that day. I had some sunblock everywhere, but I think I missed a few spots. Like, I don't have a photo of my back, but we had the little spray bottle, and darn, there was patches of like white where Ivy and I didn't put sunblock. So I had like a lot of tan and burnt places, and then just white spots, basically, like where we missed, or we put some sunblock and we missed the rest, basically. So I got a weird tan on I look like a zebra a little bit on my back right now. I'm sure the tan's gonna go away and fix throughout the summer. And that was really fun. And then the food was incredible. Like I said, it was really fun to be able to go on the cruise and not have to worry about, am I gonna eat fries and salad basically because there's nothing else? Like, no, they had an incredible menu. The team at Holistic Holiday at Sea did a really great job. You could eat whole food plant-based, you can eat some a little bit more of like the higher calorie foods, which Ivy and I enjoyed a little bit of both. There was some delicious chocolate cake at some of the desserts. There was some really good food. We ate well. I'm happy to say that we both got leaner and we both lost a little bit of weight on the cruise, and we ate a lot of food, right? We ate a lot of food, but it was really good food, and it was really fun to not have to cook or prepare any food or not have to do any dishes after. I was really happy about that one. And Ivy was really happy about that one too. And then day 2, I believe we went to Grand Cayman, and I was so burnt from Jamaica that I just couldn't be shirtless outside. And honestly, I had my backpack on because I wanted to bring my good camera, which is what I'm recording on right now, because I want to take some photos of Ivy and I, which we can pop on the screen because it's a really nice, expensive camera, and I would have really nice photos for both of us. And we just ended up doing a bus tour around the island, which was a blast. We went shopping on our way back. We bought some memories. I treated myself to, some nice gift, and then the same thing for Ivy. And it was tax-free over there, which was great. So we bought some things that were a little bit more expensive that didn't have to pay taxes on. And then obviously there was coming back on the border is different, but it was tax-free over there. And yeah, my skin was so burnt on my shoulders. You guys don't know I'm 6'4". I feel like those extra inches of being closer to the sun just really get you. And then the backpack was like rubbing here, and it was heavy with the camera gear. So I made it work for the day. And then, along those days, there was also multiple talks while we were on the boat. So we went to go see our good friend Robert Cheek. He had multiple talks, one for his book Impactful Vegan, and one he had like a little Q&A. So we went to go and support him at these talks. Cyrus, which I've recorded on his show and he's recorded on my show before, and we kind of connected online a little bit, but we never got to meet in person. So that was our first time meeting Cyrus in person, meeting his wife Kylie and his daughter Indigo, and they're just incredible people, and we've become great friends over the course of that cruise. We got to spend a lot of quality time together. We played some basketball, all the boys together, which we'll dive into a little bit later. I was fighting to get a basketball game because it was really hard to find a basketball on that cruise. I know to bring my own ball next year when I go for sure. So we got to go see Cyrus talk and Kylie talk, and again, we've learned a lot. And even though I've been in this space for a long time, it was really cool to go listen to some of the other speakers. There was one day where we were at sea, and so we kind of took that opportunity to go listen to more talks, support other people, connect with others, because we had some of our Fit Vegan members that were on the cruise as well. We had Heidi and Nancy that were on the cruise. So if you're watching this, it was a pleasure connecting with you both in person, right outside of the program. And Ivy and I taught fitness classes on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I was looking at everyone that was teaching, and I was like, we didn't have access to weight, right? We were on the top of the boat on the dock, and you'll probably see some footage being overlaid right now. We were on top of the boat, and it was, exposed. You're outside basically, and we had towels. That's pretty much what we have. It was my first year teaching there. Some of the other instructors brought resistance band. I was like, that's smart. I didn't really think of that, to be honest with you. I was like, I'm just gonna do the whole workout with body weight and towels. And instead of doing a more HIIT type workout, because that's not really what we do inside of Fit Vegan, I was like, I'm just gonna teach what we do in the program. So we did strength training. So I think Monday we did a full body workout with a partner with a towel. So the towel was the form of resistance. So you're doing like a row, for example, you're doing a bicep curl and your partner's holding the towel and creating resistance. You're doing tricep and the partner's holding the towel, creating the resistance. And it was really fun and playful and hard. And you can tell who was married when we were doing the exercise, because they were really like pushing each other and really pulling really hard on the towel and they were very competitive, is the word I'm looking for. But we set the tone from the start. We did what I call a prison push-up. So people could do it on, in a strict push-up position or on their knees or on the railing of the boat. But it's basically you do one push-up, then you get on your knees and you do one shoulder press. And you do 2 push-ups, 2 shoulder press, 3 push-ups, 3 shoulder press. And we did all the way up to 10. And once we got to 10, we worked all our way back down to like 9, 8 until 1. So that equaled 100 push-ups and 100 shoulder press. That was the first exercise of the workout on Monday. And I shared this with some of the other coaches, and they're like, man, your people were like, we had some people in their 40s, but a lot of people were like in their 50s and their 60s and 70s. And like, are they going to be able to do that? I was like, oh yeah, they're absolute machines. We coach people between 50 all the way up to 86, and they're a lot stronger than they think, and they're a lot stronger than what other people think. And they crushed the exercise, and it was really fun because we had about like 30-ish people on that first class. On Wednesday, I was like, hey, let's see if anyone shows up because this was a hard class on Monday. And then we had about like the same amount of people that showed up on Wednesday. But what I saw is about 25% of people didn't come back because they're like, this is not for me. But the 75% that stayed recruited other people because like, this is a good class. And then so we have a filled up class on Wednesday, and then the same thing on Friday. So it did lower body, I think, on Wednesday. So like some squat holds, some lunges and things like that. And then some reverse Nordic curl, which Google it if you don't know what it is. It's super hard, but everyone crushed it. And then on Friday, we did upper body. So I get some more push-ups and things like that, and some towel-based exercises. But it was really fun. I haven't taught group fitness classes in years. I used to teach spin classes way back in the day, and that was really fun. But just because of being online and all these things, I don't really teach classes anymore. So that was really fun to do that. And then we had a day at sea during that time. So Ivy and I kind of took that opportunity to kind of like continue to get some of our own workout ins. We got a little bit of work done during that time because it was the week after our digital detox. We went on digital detox. We do 9 days of being completely offline every 2 months, basically. So the week prior to the cruise, I was completely offline, like no phone, no email, no Slack, no social media, no nothing. And then when I went back online, I was basically on the boat, and the internet was a little bit spotty. So I was just, working a little bit while we were out there. And in Cozumel, Mexico, we had Jacobo from Vegan Protein and Danny. They organized a little snorkeling trip. They went diving, but they organized snorkeling for a bunch of us. Again, you'll see some of the footage. And that was a really big highlight because I've done snorkeling in Cabo and in Hawaii. And I guess the spot that we went to were okay. I was like, oh, cool. I see some fishes and it's pretty cool. But the one in Cozumel was just, the boat ride over there was 45 minutes from where we left to get to the first spot. And it was funny because, like I said, Ivy doesn't really go into water. So she had her vest on, she had a noodle, and then she jumped in the water and she was holding onto the buoy, and she looked super cute. But it was funny. Again, you'll see on the footage as being kind of overlaid right now. But the first time I put my head underwater in that first location, because I think we did 3 or 4 locations, I was like, whoa, it was like an underworld kingdom. It was so cool because there was textures and layers, and it was so deep, but you can see the bottom because the water was so clear. And, we saw some starfish. I saw a lobster in there, and the lobster was like half of Ivy. I don't know if Gary will be able to find the footage, but it was pretty deep. Like I said, you can see the bottom of the ocean, but because I was just snorkeling, I didn't have any gear to go all the way down. So I would hold my breath and try to go as deep as possible. But it was so much tension on my ears that I just had a limit as to how many meters I could go down. So I had the GoPro stretched out the lowest that I can to try to feel the lobster. But it was kind of like hiding behind a rock. But I've never seen a big lobster like that in my life. There was some stingrays as well. That one I didn't really get footage of because it was the last location. But the water was clear and beautiful and very salty. I got my electrolyte dosages for about 2 weeks just from the amount of salt water that I freaking swallowed from being in there. Because your little tube fills out and then you swallow some by accident. And my throat was burning from the salt. But we had a blast there, and then we ended up going to a vegan burrito, I believe, something like that. It was like a vegan restaurant in Cozumel, Mexico, with some of the organizers and some of the other speakers. We had a big group there, ate some delicious, vegan Mexican food, and then just headed back on the cruise. We just made it, I think, like 20 minutes before the boat left. Like we were near the cutoff. We were walking pretty fast back from that restaurant. I wouldn't be upset being left in Mexico. I had my wallet and my phone with me and my passport, so I'd be pretty happy to just stay there and then travel back after. But there was other locations to see. And then on Thursday, it was the athlete panel. So that's one of the talks that we were on board for in addition to teaching. So it was, Danny Giacomo from Vegan Protein. It was Ali from Plant Wise. It was Cyrus from co-founder of Mastering Diabetes and now founder of Evolution Health. And it was myself and it was Ivy. And it was really cool because it was more of like a Q&A format where everyone that attended, which was a lot of people, came to ask questions. And a lot of it was about, protein, building lean muscle tissue as you get older, improving body composition. There's a lot of question about endurance sport, which I got to take a lot of those questions because I have a background in competing in half Ironman and triathlons and in races like that. And yeah, Ivy also revealed her age on stage and everyone was mind blown, which again, she hasn't done on camera yet. Everyone's going to be mind blown when she says it, but it was, and I'll let her do that. I won't steal her thunder, but yeah, it was a really fun panel. And after the panel, all of us went to go do a leg workout together and we suffered tremendously. And we're trying to put some footage of that over the screen if I have some. I think some of the other coaches might have some of them, but killer leg workout. These guys are super strong. It was really fun to train with them. And, in talking with all of them, it was really fun to see that we were all aligned in terms of philosophy and transformation and sustainability as to how to transform someone. We obviously coach different types of people for different things. Again, we're one of 50 to 86, and Dan Giacomo do coach some of those people, but they're more bodybuilding oriented, which is phenomenal. Again, I used to be in that world, but again, great coaches, very aligned on the philosophy in terms of protein, sustainability, rate of fat loss, the things that matter like calories and protein and not all macros. And then same thing with Cyrus, like in focusing on habits to building a new you and your evolution. And Cyrus is really doing some cool things with his new company as well. So it was fun to be on the same boat as everyone else, and there was no bumping heads because everyone believed really hardly what they believe. And so it was fun to just have that nice flow amongst everyone. And then again, just more great food. It was such a great time. And I've been telling Robert, because Robert and I work on a few projects together, and I know Robert loves basketball. I was like, Robert, we have to play basketball. And then connected with Cyrus, like, Cyrus, we have to play basketball. And we found a few other guys, Bruce and Graham. And I was like, guys, we'll just figure out a way to play basketball. And there was that court up there, but I couldn't find a freaking ball. It was so hard to get a basketball there. And then finally I found one, and it was the oddest shaped basketball I've ever seen. I'm sure we'll put a photo on the screen. It was like a crooked rectangle, basically. Like you dribble, it might go right, it might go left, it might go forward. Who knows? You throw it on the board. I was trying to dunk with it. You throw it on the board straight, and it might go right when you're coming from the right, which doesn't make sense. It's a very crooked ball, but we ended up playing a little game of me and Cyrus versus, Robert, Graham, and another gentleman that was there. We won that one, and then we went 3-on-3. We lost that one, and then we won the last one. But that team made a comeback. I think it was like 11-2, and then they worked our way up to 11-11. So they get a good comeback, and then we ended up scoring the last 2 points, and then we won the game. But it was a fun game in the blazing Bahamas sun on top of the boats, or even closer to the sun. I got a even bigger tan for it, which you can't really tell on this camera right now. I'm looking at myself on the screen. I'm still looking pale-ish, but Ivy tanned really fast. I just burn. I'm between Casper and like burnt, basically. Like I'll get tan, it'll take me a while, right? But usually I'm Casper color, and then I'll burn once I get into the sun. So yeah, overall, honestly, it was a phenomenal trip. Ivy and I took a lot of photos. We had a blast. It was great to be able to eat healthy food. We got all of our workouts in while we were on the cruise. We got to connect with some of you guys that listen to the podcast, that read the newsletter, which I sincerely appreciate. Every single one of you that stopped us to be like, hey, I really like the newsletter. I appreciate the quick action tips and the lessons that you're sharing. When you guys stopped us to talk about the podcast and specific episodes that were really helpful for you, it means a lot to me, just because in this digital world, right? Like I'm in my office recording this video right now. I conceptually know that thousands of people will listen to this, down the road. But it doesn't always feel like real people, because it's just me here. Like versus if I'm on stage and I'm talking and there's hundreds of people in front of me, I'm like, I can see the 100 people, but I can't see the 100 people or the thousands of people while I'm in my office. And so it's always cool to get feedback. I think that's why a lot of creators and people online ask for people to comment, because it's like, oh, there's like people watching this. They're not just playing it in the background and not listening to what is being said. They're like actually people getting value out of this or being entertained by this video. And so that's my hope with it. But I just want to say I appreciate every single one of you that stopped Ivy and I, and it was a pleasure connecting with our clients, Nancy and Heidi. Hopefully we have more clients that come to the cruise next year. And then hopefully we get invited again. We didn't make people suffer too much during the workouts, that hopefully we'll be invited back. If we don't, shit, we might just buy tickets to go. I would love to go with my mom and my dad. And I think that would be really fun. Again, my mom's a super badass fit vegan, right? One of our greatest transformation that we've helped accomplish. I know it has inspired many hundreds of people, along the years of us doing this. And by the time this video comes out, we'll be nearing 5 years. If I can pull it up really quickly. So this is gonna come out on March 29th. And so on April 1st, it'll be 5 years of Fit Vegan existing. Almost 5 years ago, we started off with just me in my second bedroom apartment in Coquitlam, BC, in British Columbia, in Canada, with zero transformation. And now we're well over 1,000 with an incredible team. And Ivy and I recorded a pretty awesome podcast where she interviewed me, because she interviewed me last year when I was 4 years. Now she interviewed me this year for the 5th year celebration, asked some questions about how we got to this place. So that was really cool as well. A really cool episode is going to come out on Wednesday after this video is live. So if that day has passed, go and watch it. It's going to be a great episode. So yeah, overall, that's it for a little vlog of Hawaii. Again, you'll have seen some of the overlay right now. That's the beauty of editing, because I have no idea what it's going to look like, the final product. I just know I have a lot of footage for my editor. And so, yeah, again, if you guys are interested in a holistic holiday day at sea, I will put a link down below so you guys can check it out. Again, I don't make any money from this. This was just me wanting to talk about the vlog, and it was really awesome. And I know that being vegan sometimes can be lonely, because typically the people that we work with are usually the only one in their community, and it's hard to relate, to connect with other people that are like-minded, that share the same value. So imagine having 1,600 plus people that think like you and that value the same thing as you in one spot. You just get to have incredible people. You make lifelong friendships. You connect with people that potentially you've been following online, like myself and Ivy, like Cyrus, like Robert, like Dr. Barnard, Dr. Gregor. Like Ivy and I were having dinner and Dr. Gregor was sitting right beside us. Like, you get to have these connections and these conversations, which was a really fun time. And again, they're doing one in Alaska. I think we're not going to go to that one because it's too cold for me. That's why I moved from Canada to LA, right? I want to try to get away from the cold, but we might do the other one, I guess, next year when it's hotter and it's more summer, right? I'll get a base tan at that point, just so I don't burn once I get there. I've learned my lesson early on. So yeah, anyways, that was a little vlog for today. If you guys enjoy this style versus like me having the camera and filming throughout the day, let me know down below. If you like me picking up the camera and filming throughout the day, I'll just do more of those. I just didn't want to vlog while I was there. I just wanted to get clips of the trip because I wanted to be present to the whole experience. But now that we're back home, we have some cool travels coming up. We might be going to Europe in a few months. We potentially want to go to Philippines for the year. We're going to Cleveland, Ohio for NHA. We're going to Washington, DC for PCRM. Like, we have a few fun trips planned for the year. And so if you guys want videos or like documentation of some of those trips, let us know and we'll film it. Might bring in a videographer so I can focus on being present and someone else can just film, but we'll find a way to make it work. All right. So if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I invite you to do so with the button down below. That way you get notified when new videos come out. And I have a little goal of reaching 10,000 subscribers before the end of the year. I think it would just be really cool because I've been on YouTube for like 14, 15 years. And like I said before, I am more attached to the goal than the timeline. And so we've set a goal of that before the end of the year. And if it takes me longer, I don't care. I'm still going to get there, but it would be cool to hit it before. So if you guys enjoy the work that we do, subscribe to the channel. It costs nothing and it supports us and it's bringing us closer to our goal. So I appreciate you all and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.